Sometimes life offers you signs that simply cannot be ignored. Small moments occur, like unexpected coincidences, even when you are not searching for meaning. You may sense an unfamiliar quiet or feel a message that almost reached you but never fully arrived. A certain energy appears at the precise moment you choose to move ahead. There is a moment in every profound connection where nothing seems different on the surface. Yet inwardly, everything has transformed. You have probably felt a deep restlessness for days or even weeks. This sensation is not fear, but a strange inner knowing. It feels as if the air around you has grown heavier. Memories, emotions, or a sudden awareness of someone who is not physically present arrive without warning. I want you to pause for a moment, breathe, and truly listen to what your heart has been whispering for a long time. Even if your mind tries to deny it, what you are sensing is not imaginary or accidental. What you feel is genuine. That gentle pressure in your chest and that unfamiliar vibration are not products of imagination or wishful thinking. They are signs that the unseen bond between two souls has grown tighter. Today, I want to talk to you about the person who tried to hold back, but now feels something they can no longer conceal, even from themselves. They are experiencing a real fear of losing you. This is not a selfish fear rooted in possession. It is far deeper and more instinctive. When someone who carries your energy within their soul senses they are truly losing you, something awakens inside them. It is sudden, uncomfortable, and unwanted. For a long time, this person may have lived with the confident assumption that you would always remain there, waiting and keeping the light on, while they decided if it felt safe to come closer. But energy never stays frozen. The moment you shifted and stopped waiting, you sent a shock through the connection that struck the center of their world. It does not matter how carefully they tried to hide it, how much pride they built, or how many logical reasons they used to avoid feeling. There comes a point on this journey when the soul stops obeying the mind. In that moment, the soul hears the emptiness and faces the frightening possibility that you may not be part of their future. That is exactly what is happening now. As you hear this, you do not need a missed call or a long message to confirm it. You know it because soul connections do not follow schedules or logic. They move through vibration. When the other person's soul feels it is about to lose its energetic home, it begins to respond. What you are learning now will help you understand why this shift is happening at this time and why it affects you so strongly. We often believe that silence means the end, or that distance equals forgetting. But in the energetic realm, silence is often where the biggest transformations take place. The person who once seemed distant, cold, or uncertain is now entering a phase where they must face the truth. Their usual distractions no longer help. Avoiding their emotions no longer works. Something is pushing them toward an unexpected action. This response does not come from conscious choice, but from a deep need to restore the balance you changed when you stepped back. To understand why their fear of losing you is so powerful and why it leads to something unexpected, we must first look at what you have done. Without realizing it, you change the rules entirely. If you are ready to accept this truth in your life, write in the comments, "I am taking my power back." You are changing as well, and that is a central part of this entire story. For a long time, your energy was likely directed outward, always moving toward this person. It carried the vibration of waiting, doubting, and constant questioning. You may have spent nights wondering if they felt anything, if they remembered you, or if you truly mattered. This energy, born from love, was often felt on the other side as pressure, which gave them enough comfort to remain still. As long as you carried the connection alone, they did not have to hold anything. Then something shifted. You began choosing yourself more, perhaps without conscious effort. You started pulling your energy back, not to punish them, but as an act of self-respect. The moment you returned to yourself, the vibration changed completely. This is known as the physics of emptiness. In spiritual connections, nature and the human soul dislike empty space. When you stop chasing and no longer act from need, a gap forms in the bond. Before, that space was filled with your persistence and attention. Now there is silence, but it is not an empty silence. It is an inner absence. Understanding this difference is essential. Physical absence is simply not seeing someone. Inner absence happens when you no longer seek their validation. It is the moment you release emotional attachment and focus on your own center. This absence is what affects them now because you once gave them complete certainty of your availability. Imagine two people holding a rope tightly. If you always pull, the other only needs to resist. They do not need to exert effort. When you let go to protect your own hands, the other person loses balance. They stumble and feel the missing support, which reflects their own truth. Without your energy feeding their ego, they must generate their own strength to face their loneliness. They wonder why the world suddenly feels colder. They sense that your heart no longer gives freely as it once did, and that realization shakes them more than physical distance ever could. Emotional absence is stronger than silence. Someone can adjust to fewer messages, but they cannot adjust to losing their place in your inner world. At this stage, the law of balance activates. By withdrawing your attention, you stop pushing. When you stop pushing, they stop running. With nothing left to fight, they face their emotions. It is as if life signals that you are now ready for what truly belongs to you to move. This movement arises from discomfort. The emptiness you left must be filled. Since you no longer fill it with effort, only they remain to do so. That is why you sense restlessness now. You feel their energy searching for you. Even in silence, they are unsettled. They revisit things they once ignored and reflect on what they took for granted. Your withdrawal did not sever the connection. It cleared the noise and left them alone with a truth they avoided. That truth acts as a mirror, revealing parts of themselves they kept hidden. To understand their reaction, we must explore the shadow and the mirror. Every person carries a shadow, an unseen place where unwanted fears and insecurities are stored. When they acted distant, they were reacting not to you, but to that shadow. The fear of losing you now exposes what was always there, buried under old wounds. As long as you chased them, you absorbed their fears. Now that you stepped back, the screen they hid behind is gone. They sit alone, forced to face themselves. This is intense. Deep within you represent a reflection of their own soul. We search outside for what we have lost inside. Your love reflects a part of them they suppressed. When you leave, they feel not only loss, but a loss of identity. This fear is an awakening. They see you are irreplaceable. They realize what they felt with you cannot be repeated. This realization is heavy, revealing what truly matters. Their shadow once urged them to run. Now it shows that safety lived in what they ignored. They see it was not lack of love, but fear of feeling. This inner conflict is a struggle between ego and soul. When fear rules, people pretend not to care. When loss feels real, fear weakens. They replay memories, reconsider words, and see value where they once saw nothing. Life shows them what they failed to cherish. This brings tension, not peace. They are torn between distance and return. This inner division triggers deep change. What they are experiencing is a profound transformation. Even if they mask it with a normal expression, there are signals you will notice. Outer quiet does not equal inner peace. From the outside, everything may appear unchanged. They may still go to work or meet friends and seem steady, yet this picture is very fragile right now. They are moving through mental and emotional disorder. This person is learning that you cannot escape something you carry within. The unease has become a steady force that destroys their calm. One of the strongest signs of this awakening is a shift in sleep. It is very common that this person struggles to sleep or wakes very early, often between 3 and 4 in the morning. This is when the mind's guards are down. When logic rests, the soul steps forward and begins to speak. They wake with a heavy pressure in the chest and a fear without a clear reason. In those silent hours, their thoughts turn to you. They can no longer distract themselves. The weight of your absence becomes undeniable. During the day, their own mind turns against them. Thoughts of you interrupt their focus. They may be driving or speaking to someone when an image of you suddenly surfaces. These are not deliberate thoughts. They are memories that push into awareness. They do not recall the arguments. They remember the warmth and safety you gave them. Their memory starts to reshape the story, leaving only the truth of the connection. This hurts because it clashes with their current reality where you are no longer present. In today's world, this unrest shows itself through digital actions. Because pride stops them from calling, they search for comfort by watching you online. You may sense that this person follows your movements on social media. They avoid liking anything because that would admit you matter, but they watch closely. They check your stories and notice when you are online. They reread old messages to feel your presence. This is not simple curiosity. It is a need to confirm that you still exist in their world. When they see you doing well or appearing peaceful, they feel both comfort and fear. They feel relieved you are still there, yet afraid you are happy without them. This quiet watching is how they stay connected without risking exposure. Still, it only deepens their desire. Seeing you without reaching you makes the emptiness heavier. He or she looks for hints that you are still waiting, but when they sense your independence, their fear intensifies. They are forced to face that their window is closing. This inner chaos grows so intense that it begins to reach you. Energy behaves like water. When blocked, it finds another path. Since communication is blocked, this unspoken pain moves through unseen channels. You stop being only an observer and begin to feel their awakening within yourself. In deep bonds, the boundary between your feelings and theirs becomes unclear. There are things the mind cannot justify, but the heart recognizes immediately. To understand what you are feeling, remember you share an emotional space. It is like a hidden lake linking two wells. When one side is disturbed, the waves reach the other. Distance does not matter. You may feel sudden mood shifts without cause. You might sense deep sadness or a strange fear in your stomach. Often these emotions are not yours. You are receiving their emotional storm. This sadness is their grief over what was lost. This fear is their worry that time has run out. This surge of love is when their defenses fall. This emotional link is the clearest proof the bond still exists. The invisible thread remains intact. Life reflects this through signs. Their name appears unexpectedly. You hear a meaningful song just as you think of letting go. You notice repeating numbers like 111 on the clock. These signs show movement is happening. Even dreams become a meeting ground. While awake, their ego maintains control. In sleep, the soul is free. You may dream of them with vivid clarity. These dreams feel more real than daily life. In them, communication flows easily. There are embraces and apologies. These are genuine encounters where your souls resolve things before they appear in reality. If you have felt emotions that weren't yours or noticed constant signs, you can share it by writing "I perceive it" in the comments. This helps strengthen trust in your intuition. All these signals are preparation. They exist to alert you that the energy is nearing a breaking point. Pressure has reached its peak. The resistance they held for so long is being eroded by truth. Just before the dam breaks, you may witness one final confusing moment. The night is darkest before dawn. Before surrendering to love, the ego fights its fiercest battle. This is where many lose faith and walk away just before transformation occurs. You may see this person pull back even more or grow colder and harsher. They may block you or behave as if you mean nothing. This does not mean they forgot you. It is the last sign their ego is collapsing. Picture a rubber band stretched tight. To snap forward, it must first pull back fully. What you see now is that final strain. Their ego senses danger. It knows it is losing against its own emotions. Their love has grown so strong it threatens their control. They respond with a final defense. They are not fighting you. They are fighting themselves. Their coldness is a desperate attempt to convince themselves they do not need you. Admitting need would mean admitting fear and error. This is your test. Do you trust appearances or inner knowing? If you chase them now, you allow them to retreat into comfort. If you remain calm, pressure completes its work. The greater the outer silence, the louder the inner scream. This person lives in contradiction. Their body longs for you while their mind resists. It is an internal war. Pretending you mean nothing is draining. No one can wear that mask forever. The connection's energy is like water behind a barrier. Pride can raise the wall, but if the river grows through love and absence, it will collapse. When it does, it is not subtle. It is an internal shock that ends denial. The one who hid behind distance becomes overwhelmed by a force they cannot control. They see the cost of control was too great. The wall falls because the soul demands it. What follows is the action you have sensed, a message or sign more honest than before. They return because they can no longer deny the bond. Truth reaches them and guides them back, knowing you are where their soul can finally breathe. When resistance turns into motion, a new phase begins. The one who ran now reflects deeply on the damage caused by pride. They see that silence used as protection became confinement. Fear of losing you transforms into motivation to repair what was broken. The question shifts from if to how they can close the distance they created. This is a fragile moment for them, like stepping into sunlight after years of darkness. Memories once avoided return with clarity. They begin to see the bond not as weight, but as their greatest treasure. As they draw closer energetically, you may feel calm replace earlier restlessness. The struggle has ended. The pull is gone. You may stop checking for signs, not from indifference, but from knowing. The energy now moves toward physical reality. They may make subtle moves to test safety, contacting mutual friends, appearing where you might be, or posting messages meant for you. They want a safe return without fully destroying the ego, though the soul has already surrendered. The final stage is the direct opening. When pain outweighs fear, they speak honestly. When they reach out, it feels different. No excuses, no surface drama. There is gravity in their words. They may not say everything perfectly, but you will feel the shift. This is where healing truly starts, and where both of you are given the chance to create something new, built on truth instead of shadows. You have kept your place and regained your strength. And now the universe is bringing the results of that inner work into your physical reality. This movement toward you is not a slow walk, but a sudden realization that time is running out. When a person reaches the edge of their own resistance, they experience what is known as a point of no return. They look at their life and realize that all the things they chose instead of you, their work, their distractions, their need for control, feel empty. The fear of losing you has finally done its job. It has stripped away the lies. Now they are in a state of deep preparation. They are rehearsing the words they want to say and trying to find the right moment to step back into your life without the weight of their past mistakes. This person is currently dealing with a deep sense of regret, not as a punishment, but as a teacher that shows them exactly where they went wrong. You will notice that as they prepare to act, your own energy becomes very quiet. This is the ultimate sign that the cycle is closing. You're no longer sending out feelers or searching for them because the connection is now being led by their effort. You may even find yourself feeling a bit indifferent, which is the most powerful position you can be in. This indifference is not a lack of love, but the total absence of need. By being in this state, you create a massive magnetic pull. The person feels this shift and realizes that if they do not move now, the door might close forever. This urgency is what finally breaks the last bit of their pride. They understand that you are moving forward with or without them, and the thought of a world where you are truly gone is more than they can handle. The actual return often happens in a way that seems ordinary but feels heavy with meaning. It might be a simple hello or a question about something minor, but beneath the surface, it is a total surrender. They are checking to see if the bridge is still there. When this happens, it is important to remember that you are the one who set the new tone. You do not need to jump back into the old ways of chasing or over-explaining. The shift occurred because you chose yourself, and the only way the connection stays healthy is if you continue to choose yourself. This person is coming back to a new version of you, and they must rise to meet that version. The bond is being rebuilt. But this time the rules are defined by respect and balance rather than fear and distance. As this person prepares to step back into your world, they are going through a process of shedding their old skin. They are beginning to understand that the person they were when they walked away cannot be the person who returns. This is why the wait may have felt long. They had to break down their own walls before they could build a new bridge to you. They are currently looking at you with a new sense of wonder and respect. By choosing yourself, you have shown them a strength that they find incredibly attractive, but also intimidating. They are no longer coming back to someone they can take for granted, but to a person who knows their own worth. This shift in power is what ensures that the new connection will be based on equality rather than one person carrying the whole load. In these final moments of separation, the energetic pull becomes almost physical. You might feel a sudden warmth in your heart or a sense of being watched, even when you are alone. This is their soul reaching out to yours, trying to find a soft place to land. They are looking for a sign that it is safe to be honest. While they are still terrified of rejection, the pain of the current distance has become much worse than the fear of a no. They are reaching a state of total transparency. All the games and the need to look cool or detached have burned away in the fire of their own longing. They are ready to show you their true face, including the parts of them that were too afraid to love you properly the first time around. When the breakthrough finally occurs, it will feel like a sudden release of pressure. The air will feel lighter, and the confusion that has followed you for months will disappear in an instant. This reunion is not just about two people coming together again. It is about the birth of a completely different dynamic. You have taught them how to treat you by how you treated yourself during the silence. As you move into this next chapter, you will find that the communication is deeper and the honesty is more natural. The fear of loss has been replaced by a deep appreciation for what was almost gone. You have both been changed by this journey, and the love that remains is now tempered like steel, stronger, more resilient, and ready to face the real world without the need for masks. As the connection enters this final stage of arrival, the person is beginning to realize that their old ways of living no longer fit who they are becoming. They are standing at a doorway, looking back at the time they wasted and looking forward to the chance to be near you again. This is a very quiet and serious moment for them. They are no longer distracted by the noise of their social life or the false comfort of their own ego. Instead, they are focused on the reality of your value. They see now that while they were busy protecting themselves from getting hurt, They were actually hurting themselves by staying away from the one person who truly understood them. This regret is turning into a powerful fuel that drives them to take a real and permanent action. You will notice that during this time, your own intuition becomes very sharp. You may start to feel a sense of completion, as if a long book is finally reaching its last chapter. You no longer feel the need to ask for advice or look for external validation because the truth is sitting right in your heart. You are in a state of grace where you are happy regardless of what they do. And ironically, this is exactly what makes them move faster. Your lack of desperation acts like a vacuum that pulls them in. They can feel that you are no longer holding on to the rope, and the fear that you might actually be fine without them is the final push they need. They are ready to trade their pride for a seat at your table, and they are coming with a spirit of humility that you haven't seen before. The final manifestation is about the integration of everything you both have learned. When you finally come face to face or voice to voice, there will be a moment of recognition that goes beyond words. It is the feeling of two travelers meeting after a very long and difficult journey. The conversation won't just be about the past. It will be about the future. They will likely express a desire to do things differently this time and to build a space where both of you can be seen and heard. This is the reward for the work you did in the silence. You didn't just wait for them to come back. You grew into a version of yourself that could handle a healthy relationship. The invisible thread has done its work, pulling two souls through the darkness and into a shared light that is now steady. This silent evolution, this alchemy of distance and longing, has forged something unbreakable. The connection you share is no longer a question. It is an answered call, resonating in the space between you, waiting only for the physical world to catch up to what your souls have already settled. Remember, the most profound transformations are often born in the quietest spaces. Your decision to step back and reclaim your energy was not an act of abandonment, but the ultimate act of faith. Faith in yourself and in the enduring truth of the bond. You created the necessary vacuum, and nature, abhorring emptiness, is now guiding everything back into a higher, truer balance. The person moving toward you now is not the same one who stepped away. They have been refined by the fire of your absence, and in seeing you stand in your own power, they have found the courage to finally stand in their authentic truth. As this chapter culminates, hold steady in the certainty you've built. You are the calm center. You are the one who set this new frequency in motion simply by choosing your own peace. When the moment of reconnection arrives, receive it from this place of grounded wholeness. This is not about going back, but about moving forward together on entirely new ground, where respect is the foundation and clear communication is the language. Your journey through this silent transformation is a powerful testament to the fact that sometimes the strongest force is not in the chasing, but in the sacred pause. You honored your spirit, and in doing so, you gave the connection its only real chance to become what it was always meant to be. If this journey of silent transformation and destined reconnection resonated with your spirit, and you felt the truth of these words in your own story, let us know in the comments below. Your shared experiences strengthen this community of awakening hearts. Don't forget to like this article and subscribe to the channel for more insights into navigating the profound landscapes of love, energy, and soul-led living. Stay true to your path. You are exactly where you need to be.